If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I am a huge fan of Middle Eastern fragrances, and I got quite a bit that I've reviewed on the channel, but today we're going to be going over 10 of my top, longest lasting, highest quality smelling Middle Eastern fragrances that I have in my collection. So a lot of these are just going to be super great bang for your buck fragrances, and they are sure to blow you away. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around and let's jump right in. What's going on, everyone? It's Eli with Common Sense. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Sunday and we're going to be talking about some of the fragrances that I wore this past week in my weekly rotation series. So if you're new to the channel, I do that every single Sunday, and so you can definitely follow along and see what I've been rocking throughout the week. But just like every single one, I'd like to hear what you've been rocking down below in the comments, so I'm not the only one just talking about my fragrances. I want to hear what you guys got. But like I said earlier, we're going to be checking out some super strong, long-lasting, very high-quality smelling fragrances. And so for the number 10 spot on Monday, I just wore this one fragrance all day, and it is such a treat for the nose. My God. This one is from the house of Ahmed al-Maghribi, and this one is Marj. Now, I did a full review. You can check it up here where I kind of talk about all of the different notes and the fragrance profiles and just all the ways that this just blows my mind. But my God, does this stuff smell absolutely incredible. The quality of this is next level. It's niche level, and I want to say you can pick it up for about $60 to $50 US dollars. It's got a fruity, like a rosy sweetness. It's also got a nice bit of leather in there and some musks, but it almost has a slight designer quality to it. So it's like a buttery, just very high quality leather. You got some suede, and it almost reminds me of like a really high-end leather shop, or like you're just walking through a designer store, but it smells like money and it lasts forever. So if you like fruity, leathery fragrances with a nice, creamy, intoxicating scent profile, then this one is definitely one that you want in your collection. So definitely pick up Ahmed al-Maghribi's Marj. Now for Tuesday morning, I decided to do a few sprays of this, and it lasted me well into the evening. Ah, this stuff is so good. This is from Lattafa Pride, and this is Eternal Oud. Now this is not going to be for everybody, and I want to say it's like an 80 to 90% compliment factor. Like everybody can really pull this off, and in my mind, I feel like everybody's gonna love it. But there are some people who don't like super sweet or super just strong fragrances, and so I did have a friend whose wife didn't really approve of this one, and there are going to be some people out there who don't like it, but it's pretty safe to say that this is going to be a very sweet, warm, ambery fragrance. So if you're into that, this is going to be perfect. And my goodness, does it definitely just project and radiate like crazy. It's got a beautiful warm sweetness. It kind of reminds me of MFK Grand Soir, but this is one of Lattafa Pride's best fragrances that they have. But it's just a beautiful resinous, ambery, warm fragrance that definitely follows you wherever you go, and it lasts an eternity. And with a name like Eternal Oud, it's definitely gonna follow around you like a ghost, kind of hunting you, but a good ghost. And that's Lattafa Pride Eternal Oud. And then this next one I wore in the evening. This one is from French Avenue. It's called Fierte. So I've talked about this a few times on the channel, but if this is your first time, you need to get this fragrance in your collection, my friends. This one is going to be a really nice take on that YSL Baby Cat DNA. So it smells very vanillic. It has that warm, rich tones to it. It's kind of woody, but not super peppery and woody, kind of like the Paris Corner Rifakat. That one I've said before is great for guys, and I think this one is a little bit more unisex. And if, you know, the ladies want something a little bit more sweet, a little bit more gourmand, then this is definitely the way to go. And it's definitely a 12-13 hour fragrance, and it just projects like crazy around you. You have this huge, dense, vanillic gourmand cloud around you that really does just make the people around you smell how amazing you smell. But yeah, basically every fragrance from this house is a beast so far that I've discovered, and that one is French Avenue Fierte. At the number 7 spot, this one is from the house of Swiss Arabian, and it's cheap. It's $20, and there are some other fragrances that you can definitely pick up from this line, but I myself think it smells really high quality, and I love how this one smells. This one is Swiss Arabian's Shaghaf Oud Aswad. So this one is a beautiful, oudy, white floral fragrance. It's got some jasmine, and it does kind of remind me of Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Oud Satin Mood, but I think this definitely smells a little bit more floral, and I think there's maybe another fragrance that this is copying. It's been a while since I've checked some of the notes, but I absolutely love how floral and powdery this smells, especially as it just kind of sits on your skin and you catch whiffs of it throughout the day. And I sprayed this a couple times on one of my shirts, and I could still smell it 2 days later. You know, if you it's just sitting in your laundry pile, and you can still smell it if you walk into the room. So it's super long lasting stuff. If you like that kind of Middle Eastern white floral soapy oudi fragrance, and I think this is a perfect offering. And that one is Shaghaf Oud Aswad by Swiss Arabian. Now this next one, this is kind of my first fragrance from this house. I've talked a lot about cheap, you know, Middle Eastern fragrances. This is Middle Eastern niche right here. This one is from the house of Arabian Oud, and this one is Abyat. So this fragrance is about $140, $150. I got it on Jomashop, and this is such a rich, dark, oudi fragrance, but it also has a beautiful rose, delicate, aquatic, floral vibe to it. So it's got a very animalistic oud in the opening. It's kind of fecal. It just smells a little bit musty and a little bit musky. But as it sort of dries down about an hour or so into it, the rose florals smell so nice. It's got lily of the valley and some other just really delicate florals that kind of remind me of like a mountainous, just aquatic air. And it just smells like mountain air, and it's so intoxicating to smell. And I absolutely love just dousing myself with this stuff even before I go to bed. I know that may sound crazy wearing oudi animalistic fragrances before bed, but it's so relaxing and so just nice, clean, soapy, and floral once it dries down. So this stuff is really a hidden gem if you got a little bit of money lying around, and if you want to discover some of the Middle East more pricey fragrances. And that one is Arabian Oud Abyat. Now at the number 5 spot, this was on Thursday morning. I decided to go with a sweet kind of gourmand fragrance. It was so cold this week, and I feel like I was really happy to test all these out because again, it's winter, it's cooling down, and Christmas is right around the corner. But if you're looking for just a banger fragrance with a crazy over-the-top performance and crazy over-the-top packaging and presentation, this is gonna be it for you guys. This is about $40, and this one is Lattafa Sehr. I don't even think it's from Lattafa Pride, but oh my gosh, this stuff is so vanillic. It's powdery, it's kind of salty, and it reminds me of Tom Ford's Vanilla Sex. So it's gonna have a little bit of that Play-Doh vibe where it's kind of inky, just a little bit sweet, salty, and it just has some of those nice resins in there, but it's very ambery, and it's got kind of like a cinnamon, vanillic, spicy twist to it. But really, the spices are just like a hint of it, where really the vanilla and just all those kind of musky tones come out and definitely are at the forefront of this fragrance. Yeah, if you love vanilla gourmand fragrances, this is going to be perfect for anyone, and I absolutely love just the kind of depth that is with this. And again, nuclear projection, really this stuff is amazing for the price. And that one is Lattafa Sehr. And then in the afternoon, this is technically not a Middle Eastern, in fact, this is not a Middle Eastern fragrance. I did wear it though, and I did want to talk about it because this was my weekly rotation, and I think it's so underrated. You guys need to know about this. So it's not really included on the Middle Eastern list, but you still should definitely pick this up. In the evening, I wore Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo Signature. Now, this stuff I sprayed for the first time in a long time, and I just could not stop spraying this on myself throughout the week. It is such a beautiful gourmand leather fragrance. It's musky, it's kind of salty, and it smells so masculine. I love everything about this fragrance. It's got like a cinnamon spicy quality with a touch of coffee beans. It's got some tonka, some leather, and it really dries down to a nice musky, ambery goodness in the dry down. So it really just does smell absolutely high quality, and it's one of my favorite designer fragrances for about $25, $30. I want to say you can pick it up. But yeah, if you guys see this online for a good price, definitely pick it up. It's so blind buy worthy. In fact, I highly recommend that you pick this one up. But yeah, again, this is kind of an honorable mention, but I did want to talk about it nonetheless because it is so freaking good. I just want to Now for number 7 on this list, on Thursday, I decided to wear this fragrance. It's been a long time since I've worn it. This is from the house of Nabeel, and this one is going to be Nabeel Fulad. Now this one is said to be a twist on Nishane's Wulong Cha, and I haven't smelled that fragrance in a while, but I gotta say, this smelled way better since the first time that I had tried it. It's macerated quite wonderfully, and it definitely has that nice green tea, that kind of tangerine, mandarin, sweet citrusy vibe in the opening, but it's just got that nice green clean, musky quality to it, slightly fougere and a little bit of those ambery undertones, but my God, I just cannot stop smelling this atomizer. Like, it's just got so much better. Like, this is one of those fragrances where you keep smelling it, and as you wear it throughout the day, it's like it just reveals more layers from it. It becomes more complicated. This is definitely niche level stuff. And again, it lasts a really, really long time and projects like crazy. So that one is Nabeel's Fulad. And I haven't really smelled a fragrance from Nabeel that I haven't liked before. And then in the afternoon on Friday, I also picked up that Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo signature. Again, it's a great nighttime fragrance, and it's one that I highly recommend picking up. But for Saturday at the number 8, at the number 8 spot, I picked up another Lattafa Pride fragrance that I haven't smelled in a while, and this one is Lattafa Pride Ajwaa. Now, to me, this fragrance reminds me of if a niche fragrance house tried to capture the smell of Raisin Bran. That may sound absolutely strange, but it's got like this gourmand, spiced brown sugar cinnamon vibe with a nice date note in there. So it kind of smells like raisins and dates and just really dark dried fruits, but I cannot get enough of this stuff. I think the licorice and the myrrh in here also give it a really dark depth that really is just intriguing, and it doesn't really smell like a lot of other fragrances that I have smelled. I'm still not 100% sure what this is duping. It smells more like an original fragrance to me, but you guys can be the judge of that. But I think this is one of Lattafa Pride's best fragrances, and if it is an original fragrance DNA, hats off to them, because this stuff is really, really magical. And that one is Lattafa Pride Ajwaa. Now this morning for the number 9 spot, I decided to wear one of my favorite Middle Eastern fragrances of all time, and I've been recommending it like crazy in the past, but it's time I bring it up again. This one is from the house of Nabeel, and this one is Nabeel Irth. So this is one of the most opulent and just complicated fragrance profiles that I have ever smelled. It's got a really nice, rich oudiness. It just smells so royal, opulent, and it just smells like Middle Eastern royalty. It's got this really rich, spiced quality to it. It's got some rose and some really nice fruity notes in there. It's kind of fresh, but at the same time, it's got a very ambery agar wood in there, and just, there's like a plethora of notes. If you look at this on Fragrantica, they just have like a million billion notes in this, and it is so incredible what the House of Nabeel can do. And for those who don't know, the House of Nabeel actually is the same house from the Spirit of Dubai. So it's basically the same company, they just have cheaper offerings, and supposedly this one I think is a twist on Spirit of Dubai Turath. So haven't smelled that one, but again, this stuff is just so complicated, rich, and honestly, if you could just get one Middle Eastern fragrance, I would just recommend getting this one. It's super unisex, and it definitely boosts your confidence and makes you smell so memorable. I've had so many people ask me what I'm wearing because of this stuff, and it sticks around on your clothes and it sticks in your head, and people just need to know what you're wearing. And so this one definitely has that power of attraction, and that one is Nabeel's Irth. Now this last fragrance on this list, number 10, I've been rocking this afternoon, and I'm still gonna smell it well into tonight after I upload this video, but this one is from the house of Haramain, and this one is from their portfolio collection, and this one is Imperial Oud. If you are on the hunt for a very high quality, authentic oud smelling fragrance, then definitely get this one. In fact, I'm not 100% sure if there's real oud in this. To me, it's one of the highest quality smelling ouds that I've smelled in a long time. It reminds me of the same quality that I've smelled in other really nice high-end niche fragrances that are like $300–400, and somehow this stuff smells very, very high quality just like that. And you can get it for about 60 bucks or so on Jomashop, and I'll have links for all this stuff down in the description if you want it, but my goodness, does this stuff smell expensive. Again, this one also has some of those oriental spices, but this has more of that agar wood centered note. With a name like Imperial Oud, of course, it's going to be like a very opulent oud forward fragrance. So it's kind of resinous, spicy, but it has a little bit of that sour, again, animalistic agar wood note that really is just the star of the show. One of the best high quality fragrances that I've smelled from the house of Al Haramain. And again, that one is Portfolio Imperial Oud. So there we have it, 10 of the most powerful and high quality fragrances from the Middle East that I've been rocking this past week. So again, let me know down below what you've been rocking, or if you have some amazing long-lasting recommendations like these ones, because I'd love to review them on the channel and just hear from you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I cannot believe we hit 10K. This milestone is absolutely huge. I want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, and I cannot wait to do a special for that. In fact, I think I'm going to do a live Q&A on my YouTube live stream, so I'm going to probably set that up within the next week or two. too, but definitely stay tuned for that, and thank you guys so much for 10K. You guys have an amazing week, and remember, you can do it this week, and I believe in you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Eli with Common Sense. Until the next time, bye-bye.